There is a second version of you, not a fantasy, not a far-off dream, a version that is already inside you, waiting in the dark for one thing, your permission to step forward, a version that does not flinch when the ground gives way, a version that turns ruin into raw material. I call him the hidden self, and tonight I'm going to show you exactly how to call him out. This isn't theory. I learned this the hard way, in a season of my life when everything I'd built had collapsed and I was left standing in the wreckage with nothing but a decision to make. What I discovered in that wreckage changed the rest of my life. And what I'm about to hand you is the same path, laid out plain, so you can walk it too. Let's begin. Here is the truth nobody tells you early enough. Inside every person, two versions are locked in a silent struggle. Every single day. One is small. He whispers caution. He reminds you of every time you were embarrassed, every door that slammed, every person who doubted you. He keeps you small because small feels safe. He is the one who says, wait, when you should move, and what if, when you should already be walking. The other one is different. He doesn't ask for permission. He doesn't need the path to be clear before he takes the first step. He has been forged, not born, built in the exact moments when the small version of you wanted to quit. This is your hidden self. And the wild thing is, he's not somewhere far away. He's underneath the noise. Right now, waiting for the moment fear finally runs out of things to say. I met mine on a night I won't forget. Broke, exhausted, and staring down a failure so total that there was nothing left to protect. No reputation to guard. No backup plan to hide behind. Just me and the truth. And in that moment, something shifted. Not because the situation got easier, but because I stopped negotiating with my fear and started listening to the other voice, the one that had been buried under years of playing it safe. So why hasn't your hidden self shown up yet? It's not because he's hiding from you. It's because fear has learned to disguise itself as wisdom. Fear doesn't announce itself loudly anymore. It's too smart for that. It shows up as practical, as responsible, as just waiting for the right time. It convinces you that staying still is strategy, when really, it's surrender in slow motion. I know this trap intimately. There was a stretch of my life where I told myself I was being careful, when really I was being controlled. Every decision filtered through what could go wrong instead of what could go right. The money wasn't the real obstacle. The real obstacle was that I had quietly agreed to be smaller than I was capable of being. Sound familiar? You're not stuck because life is unfair. You're stuck because somewhere along the way, you signed a contract with your own limitations, and you can tear it up anytime you choose. Notice how fear never asks you outright to quit. It's far more patient than that. It asks you to think it over a little longer. It asks you to be realistic. It dresses itself up in the language of maturity, and most people never question it, because who argues with maturity? But there's a difference between genuine patience and fear wearing a disguise, and the only way to tell them apart is to ask yourself honestly whether you're protecting something real or just protecting your comfort. And then there's the waiting. So many of us are sitting in a holding pattern, waiting for confidence to arrive before we act, waiting for certainty before we commit, waiting for permission that nobody is ever going to hand us. I waited too. I told myself I'd move once things settled down. They never did. The breakthrough only came when I stopped waiting for the storm to pass and started walking straight through it. Here's what nobody tells you about waiting. It feels productive. It feels like you're doing something, when really you're just postponing the only thing that actually matters. Every day spent waiting for the right moment is a day you've handed to the small version of yourself, and he will take every single one you offer, because he has nothing better to do than keep you exactly where you are. Stay with me. This next part is the entire reason you clicked on this video. If your hidden self is going to step forward, it won't happen by accident. It happens through 5 deliberate movements. I didn't invent these. I lived them, one devastating chapter at a time, and I'm handing them to you exactly as I found them. Step 1. Walk into the fire. Don't run from it. Every awakening starts with a breaking point. Mine came when I lost everything I thought defined me and discovered I was still standing. If you're in your breaking point right now, do not treat it as the end of your story. Treat it as the furnace. Nothing tempers steel except heat, and nothing reveals your hidden self except pressure you can't escape. Step 2. Choose belief over evidence. At some point, you have to act in a way your current circumstances don't justify. I made decisions when the math didn't add up, because I trusted something stronger than the math: conviction. Fear will always have the better argument on paper. Your job isn't to win the argument. Your job is to move anyway. Carry yourself like the person you're becoming, not the person your bank account says you are. Step 3. Get brutally clear on your why. Vague desire produces vague effort. I didn't fully move until I could say, without hesitation, exactly what I was building toward and exactly who it would serve. Take 10 minutes today and write down precisely where you intend to be 3 years from now. Not a feeling, a sentence. Your hidden self responds to clarity, not wishful thinking. Step 4. Act before you feel ready. Belief without action is just a nice idea. I made call after call, faced rejection after rejection, before one single yes changed everything. You don't need to feel brave to take the next step. You need to take the next step in order to feel brave. Courage is built backward, through motion, not forward through preparation. Step 5. Treat every setback as tuition. Failure isn't proof you should stop. It's proof you're paying for an education nobody else has access to. I lost ventures I poured years into. I made decisions I'd take back if I could. And every single one taught me something the easy wins never could. Stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? That single shift in language will change the entire trajectory of your life. Every person who has ever built something lasting has a graveyard of failed attempts behind them. The difference is they kept walking past the graves instead of setting up camp in them. These 5 steps aren't motivational decoration. They are the actual mechanism. I didn't read them in a book and repeat them to you. I lived through every one of them, and I'm only standing here because I refuse to stop at step 3. Once your hidden self takes the wheel, something remarkable happens. You don't just access him once and go back to who you were. He becomes your baseline. Let me show you what that actually looks like day to day. You become difficult to rattle. Criticism that used to wound you now slides off, because your sense of self no longer depends on outside approval. I learned this in the quietest, hardest moments of my own collapse, when there was no one left to perform for, and I had to decide who I was when nobody was watching. You build discipline as a form of self-respect, not punishment. The hidden self doesn't rely on motivation, because motivation is unreliable. He relies on systems, small, repeated actions that compound, while everyone else is waiting to feel like it. I built my entire comeback on mornings when I didn't feel like showing up, and showed up anyway. Discipline, once you stop resenting it, stops feeling like a cage and starts feeling like the one thing in your life that never lets you down. And finally, you discover that strength isn't meant to be hoarded. The version of you that has walked through fire has something to offer the people still standing in it. I found more peace in helping someone else find their footing than I ever found chasing another personal win. Real power, once you have it, starts looking for someone to hand it to. So here we are, at the edge of everything I came here to give you. Your hidden self isn't a myth, and he isn't out of reach. He is built from the exact ingredients you already have: your breaking points, your decisions, your refusal to stay small. I found mine in the wreckage of a life I thought was over. You can find yours in whatever wreckage you're standing in right now. Don't wait for the perfect moment to begin, because it isn't coming. Pick one decision you've been avoiding and make it today. Tomorrow, take one action, even a small one, that the old, cautious version of you would never have taken. If this spoke to something in you, this is exactly what we do here at Alpha Logic. We dig into the hidden mechanics of mindset, resilience, and self-mastery every single week. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Your hidden self has been waiting long enough. Go meet him.